When you're chasing greatness, just remember, it's not about what you say, it's about what you do.
Yo, what's up guys? It's the Nightwing Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. Hedgie actually wanted to talk about the best player on Cloud9. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty hard considering, you know, Cloud9, what was the record for them? They're like, what, 33-2 or 35-2 or some shit like that?
30, I think 34 now. Like on the year, yeah.
That's insane, actually.
That is unheard of.
That's actually pretty insane when you think about, like, they only lost two single games, all last split, and they haven't lost a game so far yet at the time of recording this video. So,
undefeated, man.
Undefeated? Oh, could you imagine, like, all the torment Cloud9 fans have to go through? So, like, we don't win a title for, like, 6 years, and then this year, we win both titles, and then you go 18-0, and you smash playoffs. I think it's all coming together now. Being a C9 fan actually will grant me wings. So I thought to myself, if I jump off a bridge, would I actually fly? No? You don't like that one?
Terrible.
You used to be fun. What happened to you? What happened to you? You used to be fun. Now you're a grandpa. You used to be like, used to be like, oh my god, Cloud9, man, League, and now you watch too much LS streams.
Too many, like, there's not any competition for them. It's so sad. Like, it's just.
Oh my lord, could you imagine? Like,
no team. Oh, it's so sad. Like, they're so uninnovative. Like, man, they don't fucking come up with any new shit. They just play the same fucking champions over and over again for fucking 2 years.
Dude, I don't know, like, it's mind-blowing to me how some of these people get criticized and then have the nerve to ask, like, hey, why are we getting criticized? We're just playing to our strengths. I mean, if you never try anything new, you don't really know, like, your strengths at all. Trying the same shit is not, like, anything of an improvement, though, because there's better teams in the world who could just play that style much better than you, and then you're gonna get destroyed. I don't know, man. It's just, LCS is a doozy. But since Cloud9 is right now, during the 2020 year, which is pretty much the worst year in existence, Cloud9 is by far the most dominant team all year long, and people have had this discussion. Who is the best Cloud9 player? So it's very hard to really go through them all because they're all individually, they add something to the roster that the other one doesn't, and they all complement each other's strengths. So we could start like baseline with Reaper. Okay, so what do you think Reaper offers to this team that he couldn't offer to previous C9 rosters? Because I want to give credit to Reaper as well, because he actually really did improve this year. He improved on a lot of things people had criticisms with him for, and I actually am really proud of him, actually.
Yeah, so, like, from a draft standpoint, I think he's not very good, like, just in my opinion, and, like, you can win with bad drafts, which I think C9 do over and over again, which is really funny to kind of watch, like, how flimsy some of our drafts are, right? And then we still win. Like, it's insane.
Oh, yeah, man. But, you don't like first pick set?
Fucking Olaf, like, well, that is not a first pick, man. Like,
yeah, first pick Olaf set every single game. I've seen that for the past like 3 weeks. 3 weeks straight. I was like, is no one gonna pick on this or anything? God, Lord, man. But
yeah, from a macro standpoint, he's been really good. I think, like, just in terms of just general coaching, like we play very as a team. Like, you know, our shot calling is good. We're playing like a lot of the teams in China where their shot calling, their macro is very good. So it's good to see that evolving as the season's going on as well, just not, you know, kind of controlling the macro game, I guess, against a lot of the other teams. And as well as that, I think his development of talent, he just makes players better than they should be. I mean, Blab is the best example of that. Someone that, even my personal opinion coming to the season, I was very worried about. I mean, he's so insane right now, and you can put a bit of that on Reaper. Him being an academy player and not being very strong for a long period of time, and then coming out and being pretty much the best player in the league is very you know, dependent on having a good coach, as well as obviously Blab putting in the hard work.
One question: whatever happened to your draft reviews for teams? You were like so consistent with it.
I just lost any interest in it when they just do the same shit like everywhere.
I told you. What about the LEC?
they're pretty bad. Like a
Oh.
lot of their teams, like actually.
What about
like,
the LCK?
Yeah, don't get me started. Fuck, dude, like I don't know. It's so, LCK is weird. That like I think they're a bit better, but they draft very slow kind of shit. Like
Mhm.
I don't know. Like they love Senna and they love those sorts of champions.
Dude, it's like
where
Senna every third pick or some shit like that. Oh my lord,
Yeah.
man! Like
Oh.
T1 is so good that they get draft shitted on game 1, and then games 2 and 3 they just absolutely blow you out of the water. It's like what team was I watching in game 1?
Yeah, because like T1's a fast team. Like they play very fast. I think of late particularly, but like there's other teams that have made the league really slow. Like Dragon X is really really slow.
Right?
And just like yeah, a lot of the teams now are just really slow. Like they play very, macro focused, just small amounts of kills and shit, and
Mhm.
like different to any other region. And I think that's a good way to play actually. But like a lot of the teams don't play it right in a way that like you're waiting for late game and that sort of stuff, and you're trying to draft towards winning lanes, but also outscaling, which you can do. But a lot of teams just kind of sit back and chill and try to play this like out macro, really slow game. You'll only see kills and fights over dragons and shit.
Ooh. So let's start with we'll start with the top side and then we'll work our way down. So Cloud9 coming into this year, Licorice, for like a lot of the community standards, he didn't really have as good a year in 2019 as he did in 2018. This year, how would you rate him on his performance this year so far?
Yeah, I think he's been really good, and I think the thing to note is like he can play both weak side and strong side, which I think is a great talent to have, like a great kind of aspect to have from a top laner in this league when not many of them are good at doing that. And he just kind of he can pull out the Ornn and he can play that really well, but he can also be the carry of the team, which I think is a really good thing to have. But I think a lot of the teams try to attack him in the game. Like they'll try to fucking focus topside and get kills there because the only real lane they want to get kills, but it doesn't really work out a lot of the time because he's very good at just maintaining advantages, getting CS leads, all this sort of stuff. He's very, very good at that, but he hasn't been the main focal point, I think. Like we've been playing a lot more around Niski, around just good bot lanes and that sort of stuff, and he has been put on a lot of that weak side shit, like Ornn and shit, because of that. But yeah, I think he's still the most talented player on our team. But I'm happy to see that we're it's a whole team effort. Like everyone has their task.
But you're not rating him as the best player on C9.
Don't think currently, no,
Mhm.
that he's the best. I think he's very, very good, and I still think he's up there in terms of players in the league. And I think last year you could argue that he was the best, or even the year before you could argue that he was the best player. Well, definitely on C9, but
Mhm.
also just kind of in the league. Jensen, I think, was another one for C9 that has always been very, very, very good. Obviously, he wasn't a part of our team last year, but I think he carried a lot of our world's efforts and that sort of stuff. But yeah, he has been really, really strong. I think he's the most talented player, but I don't think he's currently the best.
So Blabber coming into this year,
Oh,
people don't actually know Blabber lost every single game last year. It was actually pretty funny. I think he won like one. Yeah, he won like one. He went like 1-6 last year or some crazy shit like that. He won one game in LCS from both splits and then lost all the games and then won one game at Worlds. So it's like 2 with something. And coming to this year, completely different player to the point where he does the same thing, but it's like more refined and he knows where to actually be on the map. And that's interesting. I was not actually gonna give him a lot of hope going into this year, but nope, he actually proved me wrong. He knows what he needs to do on the map. He knows where to control his objectives. He knows where to be for lanes. He knows what lanes to play through at certain points in the game. He knows how to up the tempo of the game. He knows where to keep the pressure on. He's just done everything really good, and credit to him. He actually won MVP last split for the 2020 spring split. I actually still think it'll go to Niski, which is the next person we'll talk about. But what do you think about Blabber so far?
Yeah, absolutely insane. Like he just kind of plays that early game style really well. And I think one thing about C9, like, I don't particularly love early game comps, obviously, being a big fan of LS and that sort of drafting. But the way C9 play it is like they know that they're playing an early game comp, which I think a lot of the other teams in NA struggle with, where they like play early game style, but then they don't play to early game. They'll like pick an Elise or shit or something, and they won't gank or anything. They won't do anything. And it's like,
they're pairing
push this bench.
freaking pairing Elise with an Azir. It's like, what is the goal of that?
Exactly, yeah, and it's Blabber's never afraid to go for invades. He's never afraid to get his team advantages, and that's the type of aggression and type of attitude you have to have on that sort of composition, and type of champions he plays like Lee Sin. So it's been really good to see him really improve that style, and he was good at that style of gameplay, but it was very unrefined. He'd go in for some fucking weird plays.
He still does those right now. When we're recording this video right now, he's still doing that. I watched him literally on Saturday run into this team's jungle, almost get everybody killed just to get a blue buff. He's still doing this.
Yeah, but the thing about it, he also makes up for it with good macro. I think he's always at the objectives at the right times. I think there's been one. I think last game was the first game this season I haven't seen him take the first dragon and like take the first herald, which is something he's just been so fucking good at.
Yeah,
this whole thing.
Because last year his objective control was abysmal. This year he's always getting to the Rift Heralds first. He's always getting to the dragons first. He always wants to invade to get blue buff, red buff. That way he gets ahead, so he gets his landers ahead. Would you say he's the best player?
No.
Oh man. I mean, I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing.
This year, second best.
Yeah.
I love what he's doing.
Nisqy, that's going to be my favorite player of the team and my personal best player on C9, because a lot of people don't actually understand to have a great league team, because mid lane is so valuable, you have to have a good mid laner. And Nisqy offers pretty much everything you can think of. Wins lanes, roams effectively, team fights very well, knows when to actually hit a certain target in teamfight. If you watch his teamfight selection of when he's playing like Galio, Zoe, he's lining up his CC to hit the right target so his team can actually capitalize on teamfights. He's always the first one roaming, so his team always gets the advantage. He knows when his enemy is backing, so he knows when to leave to get his team around the map to a certain objective. He's always the first one to every single fight. I think that if you have to have a good team like Cloud9 right now is in the year 2020, great teams have great mid laners, and that's what Nisqy is for me, man. I mean, people have asked me, who's my favorite player on Cloud9? Everyone's gonna say usually Sven, Vulcan, Blabber. It's actually Nisqy, man. If they had let's say if we had someone like Ryoma, are we really gonna be that good? Probably not. Like,
yeah, 100%.
Ica? No. Crown. God forbid. Don't get me started on that shit. Like, holy crow. I just think that the team would not be as good without him because he enables so much. Because the game is literally impacted from mid lane. I mean, this guy is literally taking champs like Galio. Who the hell is still playing that mid lane? He even said he was matching Doinb style in LPL, played it, and won a split. Imagine, he saw a better player than him. No, this is like copy his playstyle, but I mean, let's say this. If he did copy, is that really that bad? He learned from the best. Then he wants to be the best. That's a winner's mentality. That's another A in my book. Someone like Kobe Bryant would do that. Study the best players. So he studied the best player, got his playstyle, refined it his own way, and he's been a lot better, man. Last year, he was about like, what, the fourth best mid laner maybe? He went from fourth to the best in a split. Or two splits. So I'm really proud of him. I think he's the best player on Cloud9. That's just me personally. What would you say? He left me, guys. He actually left me so far. I think he muted me. No, he actually muted himself. But yeah. Hello.
Hello, I'm back. Sorry,
He left me, just like my ex-wife.
Yeah. You're like 20?
So what would you say about Nisqy?
Yeah, so he's definitely been my personal best player. Like, he's not my favorite player. Licorice is my favorite player, but he's definitely been my personal best this season. I think he's been our best player. Everything he does, just in terms of the roams that he has had. I think the champ pool's one thing to take into consideration, because Blabber, he does what he does amazingly, but he only does it on a few champions. He doesn't do it on a massive range, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, he's been absolutely insane this split. And last split, he kind of just never loses a lane. He's a lot a part of what Blabber does, because he roams with him, he helps him out. But yeah, it's just kind of insane what he's been able to do.
Last year he got ass blasted almost every single time he played a better player than him. Like Bjergsen and Jensen just completely destroyed him. Even Power, he was having a hard time with Power View. I was like, man, this guy's really struggling here. I mean, coming off of last year's context, he was a downgrade from Jensen, but this year he's improved on everything, and that's just what a great team needs, man. You need a person with a winner's mentality. Like, he could have just sat there and like, no, I'm cool being on Cloud9 being the fourth best mid, maybe. He's like, no, I want to win a split, and hey, kudos to that, man. I think he's improved a lot, but, you know, people keep saying, we'll get to that later, but, you know, how people think that Cloud9's going to be a fifth place team going into the Worlds. What? Where does that come from? Where does that even come from? So, but LPL gets 4 seeds, and so does and LCK has 3. So by definition, we're probably already gonna be 10th.
I don't know, man. It was so weird. Like, it was such a weird list. It was like, I don't know. I don't know why Mad Lions. It's just recency bias. Honestly,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, it's like, oh, these teams are doing well.
So what about Sven?
Yeah, I mean, he's been good, and again, like, everyone just does their role on our team, and there's no. I think Niski and Blabber are the carries, really, but, you know, Sven just goes in every game, he does his role, he doesn't int ever, he doesn't lose lane ever, you know, he's got really good CS every game, he has a good pool of champions, he doesn't just play 1 or 2 different champions, and, you know, he executes the game plan, and I think that's, you could say that at Vulcan as well, like, they're a solid bot lane. They don't do anything too flashy, too stupid, but their macro is super good, their CSing is good, and we work really well as a team overall. And I think that's, you know...
I think Vulcan is probably the most underrated member on the team. I think he offers a lot.
Yeah, and probably because he's a fucking support.
Friggin' support lives don't matter. Is that gonna be the new hashtag you're gonna be throwing out there?
Yeah, man, like, he's fucking useless supports, but
useless warding champions he has.
It's interesting, but he has done pretty well. But yeah, I just like the macro in terms of everyone has their job, everyone works together well. The shot calling's good, the communication's there on a lot of the macro decisions that we do make. So you gotta love that about them. Other teams are very fucking discombobulated. TSM's had that problem for so many years now. They're just never on the same page in draft, in fucking actual gameplay, and just anything. They're always fucking retarded.
Could you imagine that? Like, knowing you've been, like, not on the same page for almost 6+ years, and it's still not on the same page?
Yeah, 100%. And, like,
So
TSM,
oh, God.
looking good. They're looking okay. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think they'll be a challenge, but...
Dude,
again,
a lot of
they're
TSM
still
fans,
perfect.
a lot of TSM fans saying they're gonna smash us. I was like, yes, yeah. I mean, you can. I mean, hey, I dream about, you know, being with Scarlett Johansson, but, you know, at the end of the day, that's still a dream, you know, and we live in reality.
More likely to happen than them beating TSM.
Oh, wait, what? Thank you for the compliment. Holy shit. But
No,
I don't.
It wasn't really a compliment.
I hate you so much. Oh my god. Freaking. So what else was that? Cloud9 going into Worlds of the 5th seed. We don't even know if we're gonna have Worlds, honestly, due to that recent report that came out, obviously, where we might not actually, you know, even have Worlds. But I don't like. I'm being honest, man. I don't think we'll be the 5th seed going on. If someone said top 10, all right, that's arguable. 5th seed, yikes. That means, like, what type of league are these people watching that I'm not watching? Because some of these people, dude, they can't even name a player on a Korean roster. I was like, who's T1's, no, sorry, who's Dragon X's top laner? Smeb? Alright, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Stop talking to me. Just stop. I'm not even taking your advice. I'm like, who's Dragon X's jungler? Tarzan? Oh, fuck. Holy crap.
Is it double lift?
Oh god. You want it to be last place? Holy crap.
Yeah, look.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about people like hyping up Xenon a little too much? Because that's like 5th place is hard, man. It's a hard place. I mean, they're basically saying they're a top 5 team in the world, potentially heading into Worlds 2020.
I don't think it's too like you haven't. It's hard to actually judge because you just haven't seen that level of play. But still, like, maybe, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's hard to judge.
I mean, Flash Wolves were dominant in their own region.
Yeah.
Flash Wolves were dominant in their own region, and they didn't really dominate at Worlds ever. Did they really dominate Worlds ever? They got a few top 8 finish. No, they got one top 8 finish. That was in a season 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think saying Mad Lions are 4th is worse. like I think that's a really weird.
Mad Lions is
That's
fourth.
just so
Meanwhile,
recency bias, man.
meanwhile, just forgets about FPX or anybody in the LPL. Dude, I'm being completely honest here. LPL's like 10th seed is probably better than half all the teams in our league. I'm being completely honest.
So,
Man.
like, if G2 were fucking like 0-8 or something, that I can understand. But like they're not out of anything. Like, I don't understand the point. Like, that things don't just change because they lose a few regular season games.
Yeah, like people get a little too. How would I say this? People start overrating recency bias. It's like. But I do understand some of the fans. They're like, well, we got out of groups a few years ago, made semifinals. I mean, but yeah, that was 2 years ago. What does that apply? See, people like bringing up past things. It's like, yeah, I know we did that, but what does that do for me right now? That hasn't happened. Nothing has happened recently to convince me of that we'll do that. You know what I'm trying to say? You can't use your past to reflect on your future when there's nothing in the future that is currently showing that. I mean, yeah, C9 is good. They have their own unique style. That's perfectly fine. Hey, I'm saying we might make top 4 at Worlds. I'm giving us that. I would not be surprised if we got semifinals again. I would not be surprised. But saying we're a top 5 team going into the Worlds, I mean, LPL setting 4 seeds. Then you also got to factor in LCK setting 3. So, I mean, arguably we're not going to be 5th place if you're setting 3 teams from Korea, 4 teams from the LPL. That would make us arguably around 8th, 9th, which is kind of where I was always putting us at 10th. I was like, where did we get so good at? Because LCS is complete garbage, man.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I think it's just a lot more like, oh, these teams are okay right now, so they must be good, right? Right? But Worlds also is a bit luck based, in my opinion. Like, just the groups you can get, like
luck based.
FPX,
all luck based.
Like, they got like this fucking gift of a run to finals.
You know what's funny? J Team had more wins against FPX than G2.
Yeah, like I don't know, like what the fuck? Like, what is that? What is that group though? Like, it's Abomination, man. Like when fucking
he left me, he's gone. I mean, like you know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, but yeah, like I don't know, man. Like it's so weird.
Like I just don't get like okay, so the only way like let's say if C9 get out of a hard group. Then people are like, oh yeah, they had a hard group, they made it out. What if they face T1, win the first game, and then lose 3 straight? I guess C9 sucked all the time. LCS is trash. That's why you don't predict them as the 5th seed going in. Because implying they're a 5th seed would imply they're making around semifinals. That's the thing. People gotta understand, like, how do I say this without trying to be mean to people? It's like, actually analyze the games you watch instead of just be like, you gotta be a fan, not a fanboy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be you gotta look at things objectively. Let's Cloud9 versus let's say this happens like in Worlds or whatever. If we have a Worlds, Cloud9 versus fucking FPX. Yeah, Cloud9 wins because I love Nisqy and I think he's cute. Okay, that's not an analyst. That's actually just stupid. That's what a fanboy does. A fan says it like this. You know, I think C9 could win because of this reason. FPX could win because of this reason. I'm gonna choose Cloud9 because of this reason. I am a fan of theirs. But I'm gonna not also put them to be the favorites in the game. Like, you know, people don't understand the difference. Like, stop being a fanboy, be a fan of the team, you know? Because if you're a fanboy, that means you'll end up like TSM fans who literally just accept anything and everything that comes to them. That's just me, personally. Yeah. I don't know how you think, but that's just me personally. Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's like movies, like I like Star Wars movies, right? Star Wars movies are always overhyped by their fans, and then look at the new trilogy. It's a disappointment, and why? Because people overhype that shit, man. It's literally like, what else can we really do? There's nothing else that you can show me that's really gonna make a difference unless you yourself have to set yourself up for that. I mean, if people want to set themselves up for disappointment, top 5 team in the world, you go ahead and do that. You can take that asset. You can take me out of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, the sequels are just bad, man.
Oh, my lord. But, yeah, man, I gotta head out of here. Is there anything else you want to say before I gotta go?
No, we're good. We got the podcast tomorrow, so look forward to that, you
know. Make sure you guys subscribe to LS on Twitch. I mean, it'll greatly help him out.
Yes, thank you very much.
Subscribe
to my dad, please.
LS made Nemesis bad. Do you agree with that or not?
No. Like, what the that's such a shit argument.
Dude, half the Fnatic Reddit is like, LS made Nemesis bad.
He made Fnatic bad.
Yeah, he made
Fnatic, bro.
some random some dude who lives in another country who streams on Twitch and casts LCK. Just we're like, you know what? I'm gonna pick Fnatic and I'll make them bad. You guys have the greatest analyzation in the world. Holy
It's
crap!
weird. Isn't it kind of weird that
No,
like,
people are
LS
just stupid.
tells them
People are just
to
stupid.
do well. LS tells them to draft one thing, they do the opposite, and they lose. And then they do the opposite of what LS tells them to do. They lose, and then all of Reddit's like, LS broke Fnatic. Ah, like it's like, are you watching the games, you dipshit? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, people don't watch the
Like,
games. Dude, someone, I think last split on like Hotline League said IMT's jungler was like Broxer or something. I was like, dude, what? blew my mind. I was like, people can't read or hear, but nonetheless, I'll see you tomorrow, man. See you guys
Yes,
later.
sir, dude.
Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm Nightwing, signing out, guys. Peace. Do you love me?
Maybe.
Oh, Lord. Peace out, guys. Bye.
Hi there, guys! Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.